The story of the Lincoln cent in 2022 continues a remarkable journey that began more than a century earlier when the United States Mint first introduced the iconic design featuring President Abraham Lincoln, and by the time 2022 arrived, the coin had already become one of the longest-running and most collected series in American history, and its ongoing evolution reflects changing minting technology, shifting economic conditions, and the continuing interest of collectors around the world. And in 2022, the Lincoln cent carried forward the Union Shield reverse design, first introduced in 2010, representing national unity and strength. And this symbol continued to serve as a modern interpretation of the values Lincoln represented during his presidency, and in the decades leading up to 2022, the cent had been the focus of widespread discussion about whether such a low-denomination coin should remain in circulation. Yet despite these debates, the mint continued production, and collectors remained deeply fascinated by the subtle variations and minting details that made each year unique. And in 2022, the Mint issued Lincoln cents in both circulation quality and collector quality, with Philadelphia and Denver producing the coins for general use, while the San Francisco Mint struck proof versions intended specifically for collectors, and these different mint marks carried distinct levels of finish and craftsmanship, with circulation strikes designed for everyday transactions, while proof coins featured deeply polished fields and frosted devices that gave each piece a dramatic high-contrast appearance. And as with every year, collectors closely examined strike-quality variations, bag marks, and die characteristics that could affect long-term value. And 2022 also continued to see the influence of modern minting technology on the Lincoln cent, with improved die creation techniques allowing for sharper details on Lincoln's profile, the texture of his coat, and the fine elements of the Union Shield. And this advanced technology helped reduce the frequency of major die errors, although minor anomalies still emerged and fascinated enthusiasts who searched rolls hoping to discover a piece with unusual doubling die cracks or off-center strikes. And the economic environment of 2022 also shaped the story of the Lincoln cent, as rising costs for copper zinc and manufacturing once again prompted discussions about the future of the denomination and whether it was still economically practical to mint a coin costing more to produce than its face value. And yet the cent remained an important part of daily commerce, especially in cash-driven economies, and many people continued to rely on it, while collectors appreciated the continuation of a series that had provided more than a century of historical and artistic continuity. And during 2022, public interest in coin collecting saw renewed growth, driven in part by increased online communities, social media discussions, and widespread interest in searching pocket change for potentially rare varieties, and yearly discoveries of interesting 2022 cents kept this excitement alive, such as cents exhibiting faint doubling slight die chips around Lincoln's eye or shield details, or minor variations resulting from die fatigue. And these small differences became points of study for collectors seeking to document each unique form and expand the growing body of numismatic knowledge surrounding the modern Lincoln cent. And as the year continued, the story of the coin intertwined with the legacy of Abraham Lincoln himself, because his image on the cent is more than a mere portrait. It represents national memory, historical progress, and the enduring respect Americans hold for leadership, courage, and unity. And the continuation of the Union Shield reverse symbolized Lincoln's belief in preserving the nation, and the 2022 issue carried that message forward to new generations. And as collectors reflected on the long timeline stretching back to 1909, they saw the 2022 cent as another chapter in a narrative shaped by artistry, economic forces, historical tradition, and the evolving technology of the United States Mint, and the cent's survival into 2022. Despite all debates highlighted the deep cultural attachment Americans have to the coin and its continuing role in both commerce and collecting, and while its financial practicality remained A topic of discussion, its emotional and historical significance remained strong, and 2022 further demonstrated how even a small and humble coin can carry enormous meaning and offer insights into national identity and technological progress. And as the year progressed, millions of 2022 Lincoln cents entered circulation, traveling across the country and eventually into the hands of collectors, roll searchers, hobbyists, and historians who each found in the coin a tangible piece of American heritage. And in the future, when people look back at the 2022 issue, they will likely see it as part of a fascinating period in United States numismatic history, a time when technology, tradition, and national conversation all converged around the smallest denomination in the nation's currency, yet one of its most enduring symbols. The Lincoln cent has a history that stretches back to 1909, when it was first introduced to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and the design by Victor David Brenner broke with the tradition of depicting allegorical figures or liberty on American coins, and instead presented the realistic portrait of a president, which was revolutionary at the time. And this innovation marked a turning point in United States coinage because it combined artistry, historical commemoration, and national pride. And over the decades, the Lincoln cent has undergone numerous changes reflecting technological advances, artistic reinterpretation, and economic pressures, and in 1943, during World War II, the cent was made from steel coated with zinc due to a critical shortage of copper for wartime production, creating the famous steel cent that stands out as a rare and historically significant variation in the series, and after the war, the coin returned to its traditional copper composition. And in 1959, the reverse was changed from the classic wheat ears design to the Lincoln Memorial in honor of the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. And this introduced another iconic design element that would last for more than 50 years. And over those decades, collectors noted various minor variations and errors such as doubled dies and repunched mint marks that became highly sought after in the numismatic community, and then in 2009, the cent celebrated its 100th anniversary with the issuance of 4 distinct designs honoring different stages of Lincoln's life, which sparked renewed interest in the series and demonstrated the coin's ability to blend history, artistry, and popular appeal. And in 2010, the Union Shield reverse was introduced, symbolizing national unity and continuity. And this design continues to serve as the face of the modern cent, capturing both Lincoln's legacy and contemporary values, and the cent's production has also mirrored changes in minting technology over the years, with improvements in die engraving and production quality, allowing for sharper details, more consistent strikes, and a reduction in certain types of errors, while the coin's composition shifted subtly from high copper content to the modern bronze alloy made primarily of zinc, with a copper plating reflecting both economic and material considerations. And leading up to 2022, the Lincoln cent had been part of broader debates about the relevance of low-denomination coins in an increasingly digital economy. Yet the coin's historical significance, artistic heritage, and collector appeal ensured its continued production, and in 2022, the Lincoln cent was struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints for circulation, and at the San Francisco Mint for proof, sets each coin maintaining the iconic obverse portrait and Union Shield reverse, while collectors continued to study subtle variations in die marks, doubling, and other minor anomalies which contributed to the ongoing excitement in the hobby. And the 2022 cent also reflects the intersection of economic policy and national identity,